point, come on by Murphy's Law, have a couple of cocktails on us. Just a side note, I want to mention tomorrow on Sunday, if you're in the neighborhood of New York, a lot of great musicians are going to be on the Brooklyn Bridge sponsoring relief for the American Red Cross for Hurricane Sandy. That starts at 11 o'clock and goes till 2 or 3. So it's $100, but there's 20 chefs and it's sponsored by Southern Wine and Spirits. Great cause, so if you're in the neighborhood tomorrow on Sunday, stop by. Also, stop by the LVH and say hi to us. We've got lots going on over there. Let's move on to San Diego Chargers against the Steelers. Jeffrey, you've got some opinions. It's in Pittsburgh.
Again, in the middle of the country, I think there's going to be a little bit of some inclement weather. I don't see how the Chargers are going to have a chance in this game. Big Ben is back. Running the ball. Is Mendenhall back this week, Ryan?
I don't think Mendenhall's back, and Woodley's out too.
Woodley.
But Brown is healthier than he's been.
Okay, so we have a relatively healthy Steelers team. Palomalu's back. I was very impressed to watch Pittsburgh go into Baltimore last week, pull out that game, and kill the clock right down to the last second before they kicked that field goal to win the game. San Diego has really got nothing to play for. This team is awful. They're 1-5 since that Manning game where they blew that 24-point lead. I'm taking Pittsburgh to cover the 8. I don't see how San Diego has a chance.
San Diego's lost 4 straight, albeit against good teams. They should have never been favored last week against the Bengals. They might be throwing in the towel. This is certainly Norv's last year. While I was researching red zone offense for a story to be talked about later for the Giants, Marty Schottenheimer led the league in red zone offense his last 3 years as a coach for the San Diego Chargers with 2 quarterbacks, including finishing 14-2 his last year, won 75% of his games those last 3 years, and I just think about that on the verge of Norv Turner getting fired. The guy should never been fired to start with, and the GM should lose his job for that reason alone. Pittsburgh has the #1 home defense. I like them this game. I think it's going to be the Christians to the Lions. Lay the points.
It's Hanukkah, come on.
Oh, happy Hanukkah.
41.5 points.
No opinion.
No opinion?
The line's falling like a rock. It's got down to 39 in some places. I think it's going to stay under. I think you're looking like at a 27-10 ball game.
I like the Steelers too. Let's move on to Tennessee Titans, Indianapolis Colts. -5 on the Colts. Luck, be a lady tonight. Jeffrey, what do you think?
Love Andrew Luck. I mean, this kid is just tearing up the league this year. Last week in Detroit, in the Dome, clearly showing he prefers playing indoors. Came back from 12 points down with 2.5 minutes to throw that beautiful little play to Avery while he trailed him into the end zone. I don't see how Tennessee comes through in this game, although it depends on what Chris Johnson does, to be honest with you, because he's really been Jekyll and Hyde this year. One game he's great, one game he's not. I like the Colts defense. They're a little off in the backfield. Ballard will be starting this week. There is no Brown to play, but talk about a resurgence for Reggie Wayne. Who's the happiest guy on that team? I like the culture. They're actually one of my strongest plays of the week here, laying the 5.5.
I like the under 48 too. Mario, what do you think?
Well, I like the Colts too. Great win against the Lions. Andrew Luck head-to-head with RG3 for Rookie of the Year. They've won 6 of the last 7 against Tennessee, albeit with different people behind the center. You got to give Luck a lot of credit because he has not had a dominant running back nor a dominant coach like a Mike Shanahan's had for RG3. That's why I would give Luck the Rookie of the Year, for that reason alone. The Colts have played 1 tough game in the last 5, and the Patriots put 59 up on them. So they're beating up on teams they should, but they did get blown out by, the Patriots.
They may not be ready to make that next step.
I'm not ready to anoint them at the top level of the league, but they will beat Tennessee this week.
5-1 straight up and against the number at home.
And the last 5 in Indy have gone under.
Jets, Jaguars. Tight end Dustin Keller sat out practice for the 2nd straight day, sprained left ankle, leaving his status uncertain for New York's game at Jacksonville. Also, backup quarterback Tim Tebow, limited for the 2nd straight day, 2 broken ribs, but not be able to play against the hometown Jaguars. Mario.
I heard Y.A. Tittle's going to be the 3rd string quarterback.
My favorite name in football, Y.A. Tittle.
In 2 weeks. This quarterback controversy has just festered. I mean, look at what Seattle did. They anointed Russell Wilson before the season started and stuck with him. They should have never brought Tebow in. Tannenbaum will get fired because of it. My friend Tommy brought this to me. He called me the other day to my attention. The Seattle team, they made the right decision. The Jets have not done the same.
Since Joe Namath.
They haven't had a quarterback.
But even now, in the middle of the season, Rex is wavering. I don't understand what he's doing. He's confusing his own team.
Both of these teams only average 6 yards a pass, which is pathetic, and 3.5 yards a rush. They're the 30th and scoring team in the league. This will go under. I
138.
like the Jets for whatever reason, but I wouldn't bet it. Like anything. This is the question mark bowl.
All right, one of my favorite team, the Bears. The Bears against the Vikings. I don't know what week.
What happened last week? What did happen? Mr. From Seattle, he's still pretty bad. Minnesota. It might go further. League low in 6 yards a pass. But the Bears are not getting the defensive touchdowns lately, and when you live by the sword, you die by the sword. Lovie Smith, and you like this. Lovie. 1-4 against playoff contending teams right now this year.
No bueno.
That's no bueno.
And no Urlacher, by the way. He may be up for the rest of the
Right,
year.
Urlacher's banged up. In the first game, Chicago did get by 28-10. I like Cutler to Marshall in the Dome. I'll take the Bears, but I am worried about the Urlacher angle.
I'm taking the Bears in the over. The Bears.
And I'm going with your Bears.
The Bears. The Bears, everybody. The Bears.
And I think the coach has done a poor job.
had them
I
last
think
week.
Ponder should be further along. He showed signs of it. I think Frazier's been
It doesn't,
very
with
blasé.
Sidney Rice being out, it doesn't I'm sorry, not Sidney Rice, but
And losing Sidney Rice.
losing
yeah,
Sidney
Harvin
Rice,
now.
with Harvin out, he doesn't have a lot of weapons to go to. I can't blame him. I mean, listen, Adrian Peterson, you put him into the same ballot with Peyton Manning for comeback player of the year. I don't think we've ever seen a player do this after an ACL. I'm going to stick with the Bears. They've won 6 straight against the Vikings. They're going into the Dome. But I got to tell you, I was really disappointed last week to see them give up that lead to Seattle. I mean, that was really pathetic.
It was
I'm
pathetic.
hoping that the defense steps up in Urlacher's absence, and that with Forte and Marshall and Cutler,
Don't forget Peanut Tillman.
they pull this out.
You always mention it.
I know, he loves
I love
peanuts.
Peanut Tillman.
I'm going to
Yes.
take
I love
I'm
peanuts.
going with the Bears.
The Bears. Just a reminder, if you've got some opinion or something you want us to read on the air, you can email me at news1lasvegas@gmail.com, news1lasvegas@gmail.com. Panthers, Falcons. Injuries are decimating the Carolina defense, and that could spell trouble against Matt Ryan. Cam Newton has been the better quarterback lately, accounting for 12 touchdowns and only 2 turnovers in the past 5 games. Panthers should have won the first meeting on September 30th, but blew it late in the 30-28 loss. They might blow this one too, but it should be a close call. Mario.
Well, I can't like any team that lost to the Kansas City Chiefs, whether there was a story or not. Plus, Carolina's 0-5 at home this year against the spread. There was that story that broke about Cam Newton and his self-centeredness at the Pro Bowl last year, dissing guys like Ray Lewis. Newton always looks for his own number before he looks down the field to Steve Smith. Yeah, you gotta give Atlanta their due. Finally, I'm going to give it to them at 11-1. I do think the Giants will beat them next week, though, because it's a bad matchup for them.
Where's the game being played?
It's being played in Atlanta.
What do you think of that 48 number?
Well, you got a team that does throw the ball well on the road.
They put up 58 the first
I like it one way or the other. Remember the first game, they needed a Hail Mary with 20 seconds to go for 50 yards to set up a field goal to beat Carolina. But I do like Atlanta right now. You got to like them over Carolina.
I'm going to ride Atlanta on this one, too. Carolina has really disappointed in Cam Newton's sophomore season. I don't know where Steve Smith has been. I don't know what they're doing.
It's Cam.
Their running back situation, you don't know who's running from week to week, if they're healthy, injured, between Jonathan Stewart and D'Angelo Williams. And I got to tell you, Matt Ryan has really impressed me the last couple of weeks. I mean, in the game last week where you thought he would lose to the Saints, he stepped up, and so did the defense. So for that, I'm going to take Atlanta, and I'm going to take the under in this game. I'm looking at
we all agree on Atlanta.
28-17.
Atlanta. Philadelphia Eagles against Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What do they wear underneath their bucket hats?
We had a week off from that.
Consistent.
You have the Bucks giving 7.5 points. Would that be the most shocking spread preseason if you knew in week 14 that they'd be laying 7.5 or 9 now?
I didn't see
Someone
9
said
anywhere.
that. Well, some guy must have
Peanut
pulled up
gallery
their
or
limo with a
something.
couple of
You need to
briefcases
wake up.
of
You really
Benjamins.
I do, you're probably right.
You got Eagles losing 8 straight. Victor
7.5.
McCoy out for the year. Foles could have a breakout game because Tampa Bay is last in the league in pass defense at home.
This should be a high-scoring affair.
I like the money line on this
They're
one.
3-2 in their last 5 is Tampa, and they've lost to 2 good teams by a combined 9.
I like the Eagles
Vincent
on the
Jackson
money
should make a Pro Bowl. I could see what you're getting at there because it is 7.5, and they
Well,
do
it's-
know that Andy Reid is, got 1 foot out the door.
This kid Brown, who's been running for Shady McCoy's
Gotta hang on to the ball.
That's my
He has to
favorite
sleep
name
with a
too. I love the
football.
name Shady
He
McCoy.
has to sleep with a football, that guy.
It's your brother.
Shady McCoy, what a great name. He should be in the detective story.
Give me the Bucks, but I don't love it with 7.5.
That is a big
They're
number.
just not dynamic enough.
You don't think they're going to cover?
I would bet the Bucks if I had to, but I wouldn't with
you
my
have
money.
Jeffrey, do you have to?
You know what? I had the Bucks coming into tonight, but I think I talked myself out of it.
You've been wavered?
I'm gonna take the Eagles with the 7.5 and hope that the hook
I'm
covers.
going to take the Eagles on the money line. I like
Money
the under.
line.
Yeah.
Jonathan, money
I
line.
got plus 280 on my sheet.
I've been winning on those money. I've been kicking butt on those money lines.
Yeah, I got plus 320. Wow.
Yeah. I've been making bank on those money line bets. It's all because of you.
Well, thank you. I wish I was right
That's
with the
not all
Cardinals
because
last week.
All
I
right.
had the Jets.
Rams, Buffalo Bills. What do we got going on here? What do we have to say about the Rams and the Bills?
It's in Buffalo.
That's about it. Jeffrey, what do you have to think about that?
Well, unless the Rams are playing the 49ers, I don't see how they're going to
That happened the second time.
this game, right? I got to tell you, it's very impressive with Jeff Fisher to both go into San Fran and pull a tie out and then beat San Fran last week in one of the weirdest games I've ever seen. Weather may be an issue in Buffalo. It's an outdoor game which doesn't bode well for Bradford and the Rams. I'm going to take Buffalo minus the 3. I think it's a very fair line. Buffalo played a lot better last week. Granted, it was against Jacksonville, but I think they're going to pull us out. I'll take Buffalo.
Larry?
Well, you have the famous Dome team on the road, outdoors, in December in the cold.
Correct.
This is that's 5 bad things there going against the Rams. C.J. Spiller, 6.6 yards a carry. In the last 2 weeks, they only gave it to him 14 times each
Didn't
week.
you say he was going to have 200 yards last week?
Yeah, well, he only got 14 carries. The Rams will score because Buffalo's defense is so porous.
Jackson's going to run.
But there is a 4-point differential when I did the math, so I'm going to take the over, though it could be bad weather, but crazier things have happened.
The
But,
over. You came up with 50? 49?
I had 4 more than it is.
Okay.
Yeah. But I'll take the Rams, though, because I can't take Buffalo. I'm never right with Buffalo, so I'm sure I'm not right this week either, so keep that in mind.
Jeffrey, what do you like?
I'm taking the Bills.
You're taking the Bills. All right. Let's move on to Cowboys Bengals. We're almost through with this quarter over here. So let's talk about Cowboys and Bengals for a minute. I don't know what to say about Tony Romo.
Bengals and Bengals, not Cowboys and Bengals.
Cowboys and Bengals.
Cowboys and
Bengals,
Bengals. Real
Bengals.
quickly,
This is Cowboys.
we'll mention very quickly another unfortunate incident today in the NFL. Nose tackle Josh Brent was arrested this morning. Intoxication, manslaughter. Another Dallas player died, unfortunately, but they're traveling without him. He would have been the starting nose tackle this week going into Cincinnati. I like the Bengals in this game. Outdoors, in the middle of the country. Dallas, I don't know what to make of this team right now. Certainly today's strategy is going to have an effect on them. I'm going to go with Cincinnati. I like what they're doing.
Oh, I've been on Cincinnati a few weeks now.
You have.
Last week's Dallas game, if you bet it, you should never bet again if you had Dallas, because it was one of the worst backdoor covers ever. And for those of you out there that don't know what a backdoor cover is, it's when your team is either laying points or they're getting points, and there's a very late score that just blows it all up. There was a 98-yard punt return by the Eagles with 20 seconds to go. It was amazing.
I know what a backdoor coverage is, but I can't say it on the radio.
Put it short. Bengals have had a great 4-game stretch against 3 soft teams included in that. The law firm has been playing better. Great front 4. Geno Atkins. I think that the Bengals are going to give.
And Dalton started to go his own too.
All right. Hold your thoughts. We're going to come back right after break with Grace Land from Chicago. We're coming from Murphy's Law.